Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, aka the Vegan Veteran. I promised you a rhubarb crumble this week, but I've had to improvise a little bit. I tried to make a rhubarb crumble earlier today and it went wrong for various reasons I'll explain later. So I'm improvising, and I was calling this a COVID crumble anyway actually, because obviously the shops have got a bit better with stuff now, I think, but there's still shortages of different things depending on where you are. So I'm trying to think about replacements and things that you could use instead. So earlier I'd used some tinned rhubarb in like a light syrup, and I think it was just a bit too liquidy, because then when I put the crumble on top it just kind of sunk in. So I haven't got any more rhubarb, so I'm gonna do one with some frozen raspberries that I've got instead, which just came in like this packet. So yeah, so we'll do that. I think the tinned rhubarb probably would have worked if I just kept a bit of the syrup out. So yeah, but we'll do this one instead. And obviously there's lots of other fruit and things you could use anyway. It's quite versatile. And I think, you know, I've done quite a lot of crumbles since we've been in lockdown. Some of those have been with fresh fruit, but you know, I've done quite a few with, well, I've tried tinned fruit and now we're trying frozen. So there's plenty of options depending on, you know, what you can get your hands on, and especially if you don't want to go out, especially to get ingredients and things. So I've put that on a sort of medium heat, and to that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just going to keep an eye on that because I've not done a crumble with frozen fruit before. I'm assuming that quite a lot of liquid will come out of these berries, so just have to keep an eye on that you know, it's not too much liquid so I don't have the disaster I had earlier, but also that, you know, it doesn't get too dry and then you know, burns the pan or anything. So while that's cooking, I will start the topping. So again, in the spirit of sort of thinking about substitutes, I'm going to try to use ground oats instead of flour. So I've got 2 cups of ground oats in here, so I've just whizzed these up in a Ninja billet thing. So that can go in, and I've got then 1/2 cup of sugar, so just mix that up. I did experiment a little bit with this last week, and I tried doing sort of half flour, half oats, and that worked quite well. Like I said, the one earlier didn't work, but I think that was more down to the liquid than anything else, so hopefully this one will be okay. I mean, the one earlier tasted really good, but it just tasted like, I don't know, like a sort of rhubarb porridge rather than crumble. So yeah, it's definitely the worst one that I've done since we've been in lockdown, which is typical because, you know, it's also the one I decided to film. But anyway, so here I've got now that's 1/4 cup of marge, like vegan marge. So I've used Vitalite, which is a dairy-free spread. They don't really market themselves as vegan for whatever reason. It is vegan, but yeah, I don't know why. But I tend to buy Vitalite a fair bit because they're sort of, they seem to be the cheapest of the, well, usually the cheapest of the sort of dairy-free spreads. So, and obviously you can get it anywhere. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of working the butter through, or the spread through the dry ingredients. So what you want to do is kind of get a bit of the marge and the dry ingredients in your fingertips, and then just kind of roll it like this. My nan taught me how to do this when I was little, and you don't want to sort of get it up into the palm of your hand because you don't want the spread to get hot. You just want to keep it nice and cool, but just like sift it through your fingers. I might need to add more spread actually. I'll see how I go, because I've added more dry ingredients since the one I did earlier, so we'll see. I might need to add a bit more. And you can, so yeah, there's other fruit you can use obviously in this. So I'm using raspberries now. I used rhubarb earlier. You could try gooseberries, other frozen fruit like raspberries and things. We've got some tin peaches in the cupboard, and I was even thinking maybe I could do a peach crumble. That sounded a bit weird. And then I'm not adding like spices and things, but you can obviously add that as well. So cinnamon or nutmeg or ginger, that kind of thing. Just sort of play around and see what you like. I guess it depends a little bit on what fruit you're adding. If you wanted to make a pie rather than a crumble, all you would have to do once you've got this into kind of crumbs is then sort of add a bit of liquid and get it into a dough and then roll it out. But doing this kind of crumble stage still kind of makes sure that everything's nicely mixed and you don't get sort of clods of butter. This isn't too bad actually. I think this is working a bit better. I don't know, I might add a little bit more marge, but it's a bit finer than it was earlier. I mean, maybe that's kind of down to personal preference a little bit, you know, so I quite like it to be nice fine sort of crumbs, but you might like sort of bigger chunks that are a bit sort of crispy on the outside and then doughy in the middle, so you can just play around with it. I mean, I think the nice thing about a crumble, it's not like when you make other cakes you have to be quite precise about the amounts and things, and I think with crumble you can get away with it. Yeah, I think I will add a little bit more Vitalite, but I'm quite happy with this, to be honest, so I don't think we're going to add a huge amount more, so just like a heaped teaspoon of it. So I guess that's still probably less than half a cup or in total. I tend to work with cups now. I just find a lot more recipes are done in terms of cups now. I guess it's because I mainly look online and see like American recipes, and quite a lot of the books I have, like the baking books I have, are all in terms of cups as well. Actually, I've got a few really good vegan cookery books. The baking ones I've got, there's two books. I can't remember the name of the author. I'll look it up and post, but there's two. One's called Vegan Cookies Take Over the World, and the other one's called Vegan Cupcakes Take Over the World. And that's all done in cups. They're really easy recipes and really nice. And you do need to cut down the sugar a little bit at the moment. I don't know what everyone's else like, but I'm not eating my healthiest at the moment, and obviously not getting as much exercise as I normally would. So I'm conscious of that. So I think that's quite a nice sort of crumble now. You can kind of see that it's quite fine, but it's not just, you know, everything's sort of incorporated. It's not just flour and sugar. Right, I'll just give these a wash. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's turned out much nicer than it did earlier. So it's just a case of the fruit behaving itself now. So I think the sugar's mostly dissolved and it doesn't look too liquidy. I suppose the thing now is just whether it covers the bottom of the pan. I did put it in here before, so fingers crossed it'll be okay. And I guess you could substitute potentially the substitute some of the sugar for like maple syrup and things like that if you were trying to get a bit less refined sugar. I mean, it's still sugar at the end of the day, isn't it? It's still fattening, but at least I guess it's better than having white sugar. So that's the, if you remember, that's the raspberries and the sugar, and then in here it was just sugar, flour, sugar, ground oats, sorry, instead of flour, and Vitalite. So it's quite easy. And then I'm just going to sprinkle this on top. I think possibly this is going to be the other way round to it was earlier, so I didn't have enough oats earlier for the fruit, and now I've probably gone overboard the other way a little bit, but I guess I don't have to put all of it on. Although I think I will. You know, waste not, want not, and all that. And then what I normally do as well is just put some oats, like some whole oats over the top. I'm not gonna, because I've gone a bit overboard on the crumble mixer, I'm not gonna go too mad, but just a few. Just adds a nice texture. And then I've had the oven on, it's been on for a while now at 200 degrees, so I'll just put that in, and that will take about half an hour to cook. Just keep an eye on it, and it should go obviously nice and brown on the top. And then when it's done, you know, there's lots of, I'm sure you're aware, there's lots of nice vegan custards and things by Outpro and people that you can get in the supermarket. So you could have it with vegan custard or cream or ice cream, or even, I think Outpro even do like little cartons of like fake whipped cream kind of thing. So yeah, so that's my vegan COVID crumble, and I guess it's gluten-free as well actually, because we used oats rather than flour. So yeah, let me know if you try it, or if you substitute the fruit, and what works and what doesn't work so well, and if you have any other vegan recipes that you'd like to share. I'm sure everyone would really appreciate that if you comment. And as always, please like, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share this. And yeah, I'll post again soon. Not sure what the next episode is going to be on. Let me know if you have any ideas or things that you'd like to see, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.